What's up, everybody out there in the Frontline universe, and welcome back to another episode of Anime Weekly. This is episode 25. I am joined here with Bravo.
Hello.
Our now mainstay panelist on this show. Jeremy's not here this week. That's why we are all audio. When Jeremy comes back, both me and him will be video. Bravo chooses to stay audio, but Bravo will be with us from now on, which is awesome. Go check.
I hope you look forward to having me here.
Oh, yes. We're going to be the name rememberer and story rememberer for things that we're stupid and can't remember because we're old and stupid. Points at Jeremy because he has 5,000 girlfriends and they take away a lot of his memory time. Anyway.
It's not that you're old.
Huh?
It's not that you're old.
No, I just have ADD. I've had that all my life. No, okay. But anyway, check out the pre-show. We talked about a lot of things, but one thing the reason why I'm really pushing you guys to check this week's pre-show out is Bravo and I discussed the first 13 episodes of Twin Star Exorcist, which is a show that will be joining all the shows that we're talking about on Anime Weekly starting next week. Next week we will be doing episode 14, and we're going to be continuing forward from episode 14. From what we learned, it's going to go anywhere from 25 to 50 episodes. I'm guessing 25. It's going to take a 2-season break and then come back in the spring of 2017. But people are saying possibly 50, which means it'll go through all the way until spring of 2017. So either way, we'll find out. We'll know by spring 2017 what's going on with Twin Star Exorcist.
That we shall.
Yes. So, since we talked about all the extra stuff, let's get into the meat of this episode. And believe me, guys, it's going to be a hefty episode. Warning, because I apologize again. We did miss last week. It's mostly, if not all, my fault. First, my computer broke. Then things happened. And we ended up saying, we'll just double up. And then I had to record later on this week. So, yeah. This is 2 weeks worth of anime in one episode. These are one of those rare occasions where none of us could record. So, apologies again. Again, rare occurrence. So this week, we are going to be talking about 3 series finales. Series. Cerberus, episode 13. Assassination Classroom, Season 2, episode 25. I apologize, I did not put Season 2 in. Season 2, episode 25. Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress, episode 12, which I feel like there could be another season, but we'll talk about that. Then we go into the big ones. We've got Naruto Shippuden, episode 466 and 467. We have One Piece, episode 748 and 749. We have Ace Attorney, episode 13 to 14. We have Berserk, episode 1 through 2. We have D.Gray-man Hollow, episode 1. Yes, this week you're going to notice that I threw everything out of order. It's because everything is out of order. Next week we'll try to categorize everything a little bit better. We got Dragon Ball Super, episode 50 and 51. Endride, episode 13 and 14, which you should have just called 14 because they're basically the same. Well, we'll get to that.
Sigh.
We have Kuromukuro, which basically we missed a week. Yeah, apparently 2 episodes were posted in 1 week on the site that we watch our anime from. So it's 3 episodes, episode 12 through 14, which that I am going to very briefly sum up because it's not really a lot, but the theme of the 3 episodes is very easy. And the big, twists we'll get into, of course. We got ReZero, which is basically one of the few that's only 1 episode. ReZero, episode 14. We have Food Wars Season 2, episode 1 and 2. And then we're going to conclude this week with Tales of Zestiria The X, episode number 0, which is basically a prequel to the series. And I am using the program that allows me to timestamp, so there will be timestamps for all. Again, I apologize that everything's kind of mishmashed out of order. Next week, we will put them in a better order of things we like, things we don't like. Again, a lot of it we just threw together to get this episode out. And, of course, the season finales I wanted to put first and foremost. So let's start with Cerberus, episode number 13. You watched Cerberus, correct? No, this is the one you didn't. Very lackluster ending. To be honest, things fixed up way too quickly, in my opinion. The one thing that I liked was Hiro sacrificed his heart instead of taking his heart back and getting rid of the dragon's heart, he sacrifices his heart to give to Serato so she could come back to life, because she gets killed by the main bad guy. Gasp and amazement that happened. It was okay. The series was okay. I liked the ending. It was a nice, happy ending. And I like the picture you got at the end that says, thank you for being with us for the 13 episodes. I definitely don't see a season 2. And also, Hero is an idiot. He could tell that he has he has mage abilities, but he still wants to be a traveling swordsman. It's like telling Superman he has superpowers, but he just wants to be a crafter.
Sigh.
Yeah.
Lame.
Yeah, I didn't dig the whole, no, I'm still going to be a traveling swordsman. Dude, you can do magic. Are you stupid? If I could do magic, I would have a magical sword and I'd be a mage swordsman.
Yep.
See, look at that. Look at the logic in me. Alright, Assassination Classroom, Season 2, Episode 25. The grand finale of it all, what happened after Koro Sensei died. In the last episode, Koro Sensei was killed. The kids killed him. So, this episode is the aftermath of that. Them going to graduation out of junior high school, and that's the whole first half of the episode. And then the second half of the episode is 7 years later. And I really dug 7 years later. It was nice to see that all the students, using the money they got for the bounty, ended up buying the hill. They bought the school. They bought everything, and they choose to keep it up. And they're doing little things and little jobs over there to keep things going. And it explains what happens to a lot of the students, where they went as far as careers. I love that bitch sensei ended up marrying, I forgot the main, you won't know his name either.
Now I'm hurting just by hearing this ending.
But bitch sensei, who loved this guy, the main character, the guy that was like the dean all along, they ended up getting married finally and running the same agency together, which I thought was freaking awesome. I'm so glad they got married. I was hoping that would happen. And then we find out what happens with his name. Why did his name leave me?
The blue-haired one?
Yeah. Whatever. We find out that he becomes a teacher. And he's teaching high school instead of junior high school. And basically his students basically threaten to kill him, and he's like, I hope you can by the end of the year. So basically, the series comes full circle, and he becomes Koro Sensei, basically. His class is going to be out to kill him now, and because he has all these skills, like Koro Sensei did, it's going to be like the second generation of Assassination Classroom, except this time there's no bounty on his head.
Ow!
It's awesome. It was so good. I cried. I really did. It was so good. Why did I hear something go up? Did something go up on your end?
I didn't hear anything.
Oh, I know what I heard. And I don't understand how any of those words turned on my Xbox One. I'm dead serious. My Xbox One literally turned on with me talking.
Creepy.
Very. And this is why I recommend nobody have Kinect connected to your Xbox One. And now it's off. But man, this was a great series. I really loved Assassination Classroom. And once I get Season 1, Part 2 on Blu-ray, I'm going to watch the hell out of Season 1. Season 2 opened up with them being on spring break, which was really fun to watch. And then it moved forward all the way through. Oh, the feels and the sadness and they showed Koro Sensei as a ghost with the girlfriend at the school, and that they'll always be there, and it's like, oh, you're killing me. You're killing me. The show really knows how to tug. This was an emotional show. This had the emotion, which is why Bravo should watch it, and probably won't for a while because she still has to watch Cowboy Bebop.
I'm interested in this now.
It's so good. Oh, it's so good. Oh.
I'm incredibly intrigued.
Why do you think I'm buying every week? I make sure I have an Assassination Classroom manga until I catch up, and then I'm going to be getting all the new mangas. I actually read the Japanese chapters as they were coming out before the anime finished because I wanted more.
Oh.
And then it ended. It has a definitive end, though. This is it. There's no more Assassination Classroom. At least not with this class and not with this target.
Then what's the point?
I love I love Koro Sensei. He was such a bad person, and then he became so good, and it's like, oh, man. And he loved his students. I gotta stop. Because it's just so sad to see it over.
Yeah. That, and if you start crying on camera, I'll have to take over.
You don't have to worry about that. I never did. So, Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress, episode 12. Now, this you watched with me, so I can get a little bit of a break. I like this episode. I like the finale.
Oh, yes, I did too.
So Ikoma ended up saving Mume, and apparently he injected himself with white Kabaneri blood, so now at first I thought he was going to definitely turn into a Kaban, but apparently because he has white Kabaneri blood in him, or Kaban blood in him, that's never going to happen. And he's always going to have, like, these super abilities.
Oh well.
Did you watch the You forgot, okay. This is 2 weeks old, so you guys have to understand. We watched this 2 weeks ago, and having memory for it is a little tight. But there was...
I remember, I'm just thinking of something different about the episode.
Oh, what were you thinking about?
I was thinking that I was kind of hoping that the red-haired guy got more development.
Well, I mean, it was a very short series. It ended in 12 episodes.
I wanted more.
Okay, so explain. What did you want more of?
I don't know. They had, like, Mume and him had a close bond from childhood. I expected a lot more. I expected much more drama than there was. Even though there was a good handful of it, I expected more. And I was hoping for, like, some remorse at least before he died, but no.
I was hoping Ikoma would develop a, like, you know, his arm would reanimate itself kind of thing since he lived.
And his quote unquote death was incredibly anticlimactic.
Yeah, he got shot out of a train, and even I said,
he's fine.
Yeah,
he's fine.
He's armless, but he's fine. I think, but the ending leaves it wide open because they escape. Barbara ends up getting killed. Barbosa, was it? Or how do you pronounce his name?
But I don't know.
It's Bar something, and Ikoma ended up putting him down permanently.
He's the one I want to see develop more.
I know, but he's not. He's buried under rocks now, and the train escapes the town. Ikoma and the others make it to the train, and it just ends with them kind of riding off. So,
which leads me to believe there will be a season 2.
It leads me to believe that there definitely is a lot more potential for a season 2, yes.
Even though it's kind of an Attack on Titan rip, so...
Well, Attack on Titan was confirmed. It is coming in the fall of 2017.
Thank God, finally.
Not the fall. Was it the fall of 2017 or spring of 2017? I'm sorry.
Okay, we can wait then.
I need to catch up. I still have to watch the part 2 of season 1.
I watched everything already, so...
What are we up to? This is season 2 we're going into, right?
Season 2 of Attack on Titan, yes.
Okay, so yeah, I have to watch the second half of season 1.
Yep.
Plus, get the game that's coming out very soon.
Ooh, that's gonna be so cool.
Oh, yes. Alright, so... I have the joy of talking about 2 shows back-to-back. We have Naruto Shippuden, which we're going to start with Naruto Shippuden, episode number 466 to 467. You know, the good news is, both Naruto and One Piece, the story arcs are in the same place, so I don't have to worry about saying in episode this happened, in episode that happened. Basically, it's part 1 and part 2, or a continuation of a story. So, basically, Ashura and Indra end up going their own way in Naruto. You know, we don't get to see Indra, what he did, but we know we followed Ashura, and basically they're sent out by their father, and whichever one comes back, when they both come back, a successor to the father is named. And we follow Ashura. He goes to this town or this village that is living. It's in a desert, but apparently plant life grows there for some reason. And we find out that it's because the divine tree is trying to regrow itself. And it's basically sucking the life out of the people there. And that's what's supplying all the shrubbery and what's bringing all the life to the surrounding areas. But a lot of people are getting sick and a lot of people are dying because of it. And Ashura basically wants to find the reason they won't destroy the tree is because there's no water. If they destroy the tree, the town and the shrubbery and everything will fall and there'll be nothing. It'll be over. Life as they know it. It basically they go back to the way things were, which was hell. So basically Ashura, after getting chased out of town, comes back and says, "You know what? Fine. I'm gonna dig a well. I'm gonna find water." And he starts digging and digging and digging, and he can't find nothing. And then we go back to present, and Indra already finished his issues and solved the problem, and he's come back. There are no more problems in the village that he was sent to. So 1 year later, Ashura comes back finally. And he doesn't just come back alone like Indra did. He comes back with friends who wish to live in and learn ninjutsu, or ninsu, I believe it's called. And
that is a stupid.
I believe it's ninsu. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, so forgive me. But anyway, we find out the rest of the story that Ashura kept digging and digging, and the people who saw what he was trying to do ended up helping him. And it's kind of like the story before where the father was traveling and he wanted to build that bridge and he made best friends with that person, and then he slowly started gaining followers. So Ashura is basically is more closer to what the father is. Even though he's not good with his techniques and his abilities, his heart and his want to help and build things is build people and civilization. I believe that's why he's going to be labeled the successor. The coming attractions basically it looks like Ashura is going to get the position, and that's going to drive Indra batshit crazy. So, awesome.
Ta-da!
That was basically the episode. I loved it. I like it, and again, you know, Naruto's always in filler hell. It's been in filler hell for 2 years. We're finally getting something that's not filler, but still filler, because we're not in the fight with Naruto, Sasuke, and her name left me now.
Sakura?
Not Sakura. No, not Sakura. The mother.
I don't know.
Whatever her name was. And obviously next episode is going to continue the story with the brothers. I don't know how much longer it's going to be, but once we get out of that, we can finally get into the fight. The fight that we've been waiting for Lord knows how freaking long.
50 years or so.
No, it's been about a good 3 years, though. Imagine an anime going on for 3 years and all it is filler.
It sounds hellish.
That's Naruto Shippuden.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Okay, so let's go into One Piece then, which is episode number 748 to 749. Luffy is now underground. Him and the others escaped. They're on the run. Luffy's still stuck in that steel ball. And what happens is they end up in the mines, and that girl finds out that the person that she's giving all these bounties to, he's not such a great guy after all. That he actually, when his crew becomes useless, he just throws them in the mine to mine coal for him to eat and then turn into molten whatever, or not gold, the metal, which he eats and then is able to melt down in his body because apparently he has a ability because of the fruit. But anyway, Luffy ends up getting freed at some point, and he basically saves. It's so hard because I watched this episode 2 weeks ago, so I'm trying to remember everything in detail. He ends up saving. Yeah, it's hard. He ends up saving the people who are working underground in the mines, and he takes down the train guy. And then the current episode, this week's episode, they finally escape the mines, and we find out that the girl was manipulated all along by the leader, who basically killed her whole crew and saved her and made it look like he saved her and her crew was killed by random bandit kind of people. And Luffy is not taking that so lightly. Action was really good in this week's episode, though, and Zoro actually showed up, and he ended up helping Luffy out a bit, which was really cool. It was nice to see him in action again. And I'm enjoying One Piece. This is more of a filler story, which is good, so we can just relax after having that main story for so long with Del Flamingo, which I still have to watch. I still have to go back and finish. But I'm excited to see what happens next, because it looks like Luffy's about to kick things into gear. Not Gear 4 yet, but gear nonetheless. Out of both of these animes, Bravo, I would definitely say One Piece is something I would say you should try later on in life.
That's what all my friends say.
Like, I'm talking start from the beginning, though, because you will get a little lost with where they're at right now. But Naruto is something that, at this point, I just say wait till Boruto and start with the new generation.
I could just start with Boruto.
Yeah, Boruto is going to be Naruto's son. It's basically like Pokemon. They're going into the next series where instead of Naruto being the main character, it's going to be his son, and he's going to become the new Hokage.
Isn't that going to be a movie, though?
It is a movie.
Oh, so I could just watch that. Okay.
Yeah, you can watch the movie, but there's talk about a series.
I'll watch a series when it comes out, maybe. May as well.
There you go, and you could always binge watch Naruto later and skip all the filler crap later.
So that would leave like 2 episodes.
Yeah, see? Look at that. You're ready to go. All right, now the next one, I'm taking a break. You're doing this. I'm sorry, I need to rest my voice, and that's Ace Attorney. Go. It's episode 13 and episode 14.
Episode 13. Wait, 13. 13 and
14.
13 is the one with the kids, right?
Right.
Okay, good. I can't believe I lost that. In episode 13, we get a little break after the previous case drama with like Edgeworth and all that stuff, and we get to see wait, oh my god, I lost his name. Not Miles. Phoenix. We get to see Phoenix's past with his friend with the spiky hair, of which I actually forgot the name of, and Edgeworth. And we get to see,
God, I forgot his name. Paul, was it?
I don't know. We'll call him Spiky McSpikersons until further notice.
There you go.
Or Spiky.
Spiky.
and we get to, and it's a really cute episode. We get to see like all of them bond after like Phoenix was accused of stealing and his friends defend him, even though Miles was the one who had his money stolen. He defends him anyway, and we get to see that he has like a passion for like the whole court thing because his dad also works in law and stuff like that.
Mm.
And then a dog shows up, and we get to see all 3 of them like looking for the dog's home, and we get to see that Miles wants a dog, and seeing Miles with his dad when he was a little kid was so adorable.
Mm.
Like, I actually, like, outwardly went, "Aw," at the screen when they showed that whole scene. Because, like, he was all shy about liking the samurai TV show, even though it's normal for his age. And he was like, "Also, father, I would really like a dog." Like, it was weird how he didn't seem to think that was normal.
I couldn't tell you, honestly.
Yeah, it's a little odd.
It was weird. I thought the father would be hard-assed about it, but the father's like, you want a dog? It's fine.
He's a good father.
Yeah.
And then we see his death, and then we get to see like Von Karma taking him away in the car and like become like the best prosecutor there ever was, and we get to see little Minnie. I forget her name, but I think I'll. But. Why do I want to say Elsa for some reason?
I have honestly no clue.
She was. I assume that's her. Franziska. And that is the daughter of Von Karma. And her quirk in the show, or at least in the games, is that she has a whip. And you see that a little bit. And she had like a little mini whip already at like the ripe age of 7. Already practicing, are we? And that was that. It was just a lot of like background and stuff.
It was a back. Yeah, that episode specifically. I felt was very like, okay, we're having a little filler episode where we're getting to see Phoenix and Edgeworth's first, where they became friends with Paul, and three of them became friends, and then Edgeworth's father died.
It was a really sweet episode.
Oh, I liked it a lot. So that leads us then to the next episode, which this is
right back into court. We get to Phoenix's friend, the girl. I can't believe I forgot her name. My best friend loves this character, and I actually forgot the name of her. But we get to see him again because she has been doing her spiritual training.
Oh, you mean Maya?
Thank you, Maya. We get to see that Maya has been practicing channeling spirits, and that's where she's been this whole time. And Edgeworth, connected to another case, is going to see her summon a spirit to help solve a murder case. But the spirit has apparently taken over Maya's body and then killed a person. The person who wanted this case done in the first place.
Yeah, but I don't.
So now Maya's in trouble again.
Yeah, I don't believe.
Oh no, I don't think that either. I know Ace Attorney. That's just what has been given to us. The woman who does it, like her grandmother or whatever, I don't know, like, she looks grandma-ish. She's bizarrely calm about this whole murder thing. I say it was her, somehow.
I think it was either her or the guy tried to kill her, and it didn't.
Maya back me.
Yeah, and Maya kind of defended herself.
But why wouldn't she remember?
That's a very good question.
It'll probably wind up being her. She looks Ace Attorney villain caliber. And there's just a lot of there's a little bit of hijinks in this episode actually, because when the detective shows up, does he show up? I remember him showing up for some reason, or am I wrong?
No, he showed up.
Okay.
The detective shows up because they had to call the police.
Detective Gumshoe.
Yep.
And whenever he shows up, it's always amusing because that's his character. And the little girl that was also training, she wants to help out too, so she wound up following Phoenix even though she probably wasn't supposed to. And they're both going to do their best to prove Maya's innocence. And there was a brief shot of Von Karma's daughter, so we're going to get to see her now in more detail. And the episode ends after that, and we have to wait now to see her fate.
Yep. Now, while you were explaining all that, my list went bonkily boop boop. I actually typed to you that I typed the wrong thing to you. So guys, I apologize, but there are no timestamps, and I think we're about to go out of the vocal order I gave because I don't remember the order of what the original order was for the animes. So
it's all right. I'm sure the viewers will understand.
Yeah, I'm going to basically go by the list you guys see in the description, because next we're going to go into Berserk, episode 1 and 2. And
I got this.
Yeah, and unfortunately that means that Bravo's going to go again, but there's a reason for that, so I'm going to give my reason really quickly, and then I'll let you talk more about the episode.
No problem.
I didn't like the animation, honestly. When the episode started up, I was like, oh, it's got like that 3D effect thing, but it's with the anime as well. And I don't know, for some reason I'm sitting there and I'm watching episode 1 and I'm really trying to get into it, and it doesn't happen. I felt no connection whatsoever to it. So in the end, I basically just said, you know what, I'm not Berserk. I'm not feeling it. I didn't feel it. I really did not like the animation. So I think Jeremy enjoyed it. So I think this is going to be the anime where I sit out, and where if Jeremy likes it as well, him and Bravo will be talking about this anime.
We'll do back and forth.
Yeah, because I have nothing really. I thought I'd like it. I read the manga a little bit. I thought it was interesting. But also the manga as well took a backseat when I found out about Food Wars. So, like the manga, the anime itself is just taking a backseat to, I didn't have any interest in it.
Okay. So, do I just go into it?
Go for it. Talk about how it started in episode 2.
Okay, first episode of Berserk, it just establishes itself is the best way to describe it. We get to see Guts, the main character, and he is like a traveling swordsman now, pretty much. He is a closed book because he doesn't really talk much. We don't know a lot about him. I also realized, I'm pretty sure this takes place after the series Berserk itself, because Griffith is mentioned, and I do know very vaguely about Berserk that in the previous series, Griffith did something really, really bad.
Okay.
I'm just not entirely sure what that was. I saw the scene and it was horrifying, but I'm not exactly sure what it was. And he teams up with this little fairy dude, and they get, I think, into a carriage with like this blonde girl, and these demons that are apparently following Guts around. That's the best way to describe them. I don't know if they're actually demons or what, but they follow Guts around, kills her father and her, and there's a fight scene, and then this blonde girl shows up, and she's like a knight, and that goes right into episode 2. There's actually not much to talk about in episode 1, at least not for me.
Okay.
That's really interesting.
It's really more of a setup.
Yeah.
Okay.
The fairy is interesting, I guess.
It's a fairy.
Then in episode 2, we have he fights back a little bit, but he gets captured by the knights. But I feel like that was on purpose. Like he did it on purpose. He probably could have defeated them if he wanted.
Okay.
Because he did do quite a bit of damage. And this girl, I can't be bothered to remember her name because I don't like her.
I hate her face. It's all.
Yeah, she's blonde bunhead or whatever it is, and she is obnoxious. And a big chunk of the episode was just her like interrogating Guts with like a whip thing, and like he made her mad, so he just kept whipping his chest, and there was blood everywhere, and she's extremely obnoxious, just like my faith is strong. I don't know why I gave her a Texan accent, but
Oh, welcome to Berserk. Blood, whipping,
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. And in the end, something happens, and like he winds up taking him with her on his escape. I don't know why he should have left her there, but
And that's the end of the episode?
kind of. And she's just like, "Let me go at once," and then really, I would have just dropped her right there, honestly.
And he doesn't, of course.
No, and we're gonna have to deal with her for the next episode.
Hooray for you!
Yeah, I'm not completely thrilled. It's okay, I guess.
You know,
I don't like the animation.
Yeah,
I don't
somebody
like
told me. Oh, go ahead, finish you, and then I'll say.
The one thing I do like is the song that plays when they show you the preview of the next episode. It's really pretty. And that's really all I really have to say. I'm not really completely enthused. And I've heard Berserk is like a legend amongst anime. I don't think this is doing it justice.
I don't think so either, because one of my friends on Dark Avenger Live was actually saying that the anime was okay. O-K. Which is usually the Doom okay. And yeah, I just can't be bothered with it. I'm not. It did nothing for me, honestly.
I typically don't drop things even if I hate them, so I'm in for a ride.
Well, you and Jeremy will be able to discuss it.
Yeah. I don't know if he likes it or not, but...
Jeremy, let us know in the comments below. Are you going to be continuing Berserk?
Or if it'll just be me suffering here.
No, we wouldn't let you suffer. If Jeremy isn't into it either, we'll just drop it off the show.
Okay, great.
So one thing I know I didn't not like was D.Gray-man Hollow, episode 1. One thing I didn't like though was it wasn't really jump on friendly because you didn't get really much of a recap of what happened before. So you're kind of a little like at the beginning I wasn't lost. I liked the fight with the demons and it had
Akuma.
Alan. Huh?
Akuma, they're called in the show, but technically same thing. Continue.
Okay. No, I'm glad you corrected me. So they're fighting these Akumas, and we get introduced to Alan Walker, who is the main character. They end up exercising and getting, protecting the innocent, as they say.
Wait, no, never mind.
I'm good?
I think you're good, yeah.
Okay, and then they go to this new base, and that's when all the stuff that is previous starts getting referenced. All of a sudden, Alan is being, wrapped up in this magical harness. It's like, why is he being treated like the bad guy all of a sudden?
I can actually kind of explain.
That would be useful. Yes, please do.
Alan, Alan was an Exorcist and has been for a while. The original D.Gray-man was like 100 episodes long.
Okay.
It's a pretty lengthy series. But what happened was Alan, in the previous reincarnation, at least what they're talking about, or whatever arc they're bouncing off of here, I forget which one, he played a piano song and managed to, like, stop something really bad from happening. I don't remember exactly what it was. I think it was, like, in the midst of an Akuma attack.
Okay.
And, like, he played a song that originally belonged to the, I think, 14th Noah. Like, he has the memories of the 14th Noah. And he's basically the vessel for this bad guy named the 14th Noah to come out and, like, take over his body and end everything. The 14th Noah is very dangerous. He's a member of the Noah family, which works for the Millennium Earl, which makes Akumas, so that's bad.
So basically, the whole point of him now is to prevent himself from becoming the 14, I'm guessing.
That seems to be a really big plot point right now, so, yeah.
But I liked it. I liked Alan's character. I liked the supporting cast. I don't like the guy that looks like Hitler with blonde hair.
Oh, neither do I. We're on the same page there.
The other guy I didn't like, but he died at the end of the episode anyway.
Yeah, oh well.
I wasn't sad when I saw him get shot.
You
And
didn't get really a chance to bond with him. If you saw the last ones, you would be a little sad. A little, but not a lot. At
okay.
least not for me.
And it turns out that somebody close to Alan is gonna die. That's what he was warned about, because he's this vessel. And that's where they leave you off with episode 1. Episode 2 is out now, but it counts for next week's Anime Weekly. But I liked it. I am definitely on board. I like the action. I like the whole... It reminded me a little bit of Van Helsing.
Really? That's not a comparison to make.
It's an odd comparison, not really, because think about it. Alan is an exorcist or a demon hunter who works for
Basically.
an organization underneath the Christian church.
Oh. Well, one thing you did forget, though, was that the exorcists are part of the Order, and the Order are trying to collect innocence pieces.
Right. Oh, that part. Well, that was kind of a little bit of a question mark for me, but thank you for adding that in then.
No problem.
Because I didn't know what the whole innocence and the ring thing really all that meant.
Yeah, well, you'll probably wind up looking back on things, and I probably will, too.
Okay.
So I don't look stupid.
That or I'll just ask you and I won't look stupid because I'll have asked you before the show and I'll make myself look all smart by making it look like I went back and I watched.
You know, doing it live and telling everyone what you're going to do does not make you look smart.
I said maybe I'll do that. I didn't say I would definitely do it. Although now I am considering it heavily.
You'll do it.
I'll do it. Yep. But I loved it. I love D.Gray-man and I'm really excited. I might go back and and watch the previous volume if I have the time. I might go and grab the manga series if it's in America yet. I'll probably grab some.
I have some, so I know what they are. Some of them.
I meant Hallow specifically though.
Hallow is just part of the D.Gray-man series as a whole, the manga.
Okay.
The manga isn't separated in Hallow, I don't think. That's just the name of the anime.
Oh, okay. Is it still going on or did it end?
I think D.Gray-man is ongoing.
Oh, cool. I gotta look this up after the show.
Okay.
But anyway, let's go into something again that you're not watching. I think there's only 2 more shows out of everything that you're not watching.
Yep.
Dragon Ball Super, episode 50 and 51. Goku fights Black, which they don't call Black Goku anymore. They're just calling him Black now, unless they're just using a very abbreviated version of his name. So he fights Black in this episode, and Black basically holds his own throughout most of this fight. And unfortunately for Goku, Black basically assimilates his fighting technique. The more he's fighting Goku, the more he's learning. And what happens is he's wearing a time ring, and unlike Trunks, he can't stay in the present. He has to go back to his, correct time. So before he gets sucked back into, the time stream and put back where he belongs, he blows up Trunks' time machine, and now Trunks is unable to go back to the future. I love the ending where Vegeta tells Trunks, "We'll find a way." It shows how much his character has changed since the Cell Saga where Trunks saw him last. Because even Trunks was kind of like a little shocked. He's like, "Thank you, Dad." You could see that Vegeta really matured and grew a lot from where he was back during, the Cell Saga. Episode 51, we find out Bulma, well, I think we found out in 50, but Bulma basically has a way to maybe get Trunks and everybody back into the future. Apparently, she saved the time machine that Cell rode in way back in the past. So she has basically the messed up, like, mossy version of Trunks' spaceship. She just has to fix it. And the good news is she has all of her future self's notes. So she could actually build this or fix the spaceship now, and they'll all be able to go back to the future, no pun intended, defeat Black and save Trunks' time period once again. Out of like 5 people that are probably left alive on that, in that future at this point. And I love how creepy yet sweet it was that future Trunks actually was sweet talking to Mai, who's like a 5-year-old, not 5, about an 8-year-old girl right now. But everybody has to remember that she's really not 8, she's like 40, because she wished the Eternal Dragon would give her back youth, so she's a little kid again. But apparently it's almost confirmed that she's going to be a love interest for Trunks as the series moves forward anyway.
Ah, okay.
So it's left off with Trunks, with Vegeta training, with Trunks and Goku training, with Bulma getting to work on the time machine. And yeah, Gohan is still absent. Damn it. But there is a little interest between Beerus and Whis about how Black got that ring, and we're going to find out maybe next episode the one place where Beerus might have seen that ring before.
Oh.
Yeah, that interesting. That O is so sarcastic. It's like, yes, it's that interesting.
I don't know what the heck is going on. So.
Oh, you mean my explanation wasn't good enough for you? Well, fine. Let's spend about a half hour talking about Dragon Ball then, and I can explain everything that happened.
Can we not?
We're not, because we're going into Endride episode 13 and 14. Or, as I would like to call them, the I'm sitting around, I'm Emilio, and I'm moping that my dad is dead now, even though since episode 1, all I wanted to do was freaking kill him. I mean, seriously.
As you can see, we're very passionate.
I mean, seriously, for a kid who wanted to kill his dad so passionately, he really got depressed after he saw his dad die.
Like, I was all happy that, like, he was finally being emotional, but then, like, after that, I was like, okay, I think we should stop now.
Yeah. He went emo, like, literally.
In 2 seconds flat.
And the whole episode 12, again, not 12, 13. Episode 13 is what episode 14 will be next week for Twin Star Exorcist.
Recap.
It was all recap. So if you missed out on all 12 previous episodes of Endride, watch episode 13. They recap every single thing that's happened in the series thus far. This was the mid-season, the mid-season recap episode, because it's going into spring. Same thing with Twin Star, but that's next week. So instead of it being episode 14, it was episode 13.
Just watch the recap, spare yourself.
Exactly. Episode 14, however, things finally move. Slightly. Yeah, slightly. Emilio gets up and they actually go back downstairs. Literally, they're still in Babylon. Or Babel. And Shin is getting worried about Emilio, so they have a fight for like 24 hours, for about 6 hours straight. And it basically
he was worried, so he punched him. Basically.
And you see that their relationship, they're getting closer. Emilio...
You call that closer?
Well, Shin is trying to help Emilio.
I guess punching is manly bonding.
Sure. No clue. I've punched Michael, but when I punch Michael, I don't punch him to bond with him, that's for sure. But I did like that in the end, Shin and Emilio end up joining the Egonauts. I thought I could have sworn Emilio was going to be like, take me back to the throne, I'll be the king. But I guess he's not smart enough to figure out that he should be the next king, so instead he decides to join the Egonauts instead.
No one in Endride's very intelligent.
Huh?
I said no one in Endride is very intelligent.
Not really. I think Shin is like the most the smartest out of all of them.
And that's not great.
No, Shun is really not that smart either. I think that Pavel is really smart, the scientist guy.
Ah.
But yeah, they're gonna try to get Shun home. Along the way, Emilio's gonna help the Egonauts keep the world, or Endora, under control because everybody found out the king is dead now. So now basically all hell is breaking loose. And I guess that's what the second half of the series is going to be about them, keeping Endora from going completely insane.
This should be fun.
Yeah.
Not.
Yeah. Well, these 2 episodes were definitely not fun. A recap episode, it's understandable. But when all of episode 14 was exactly like episode 13, it's like...
Didn't we see this last week?
Exactly, and I watched both back to back because I had waited long enough so I could watch Endride back to back.
Oh god, you really wanted to bang your head into a wall, and I wanted to just from watching one.
Yeah. I would have rather have watched one last week and one this week because that was horrible because it's like the same episode for an hour.
Groundhog Day.
Speaking of headbanging, let's talk about Kuromukuro, episode 12, 13, and 14 because
take it away.
Because episode 12 came out on Sunday, 13 came out on that exact same week's Thursday, and then, 14 came out last week. The other 2 came out the week before that. Summing it up, episode 12 was really a lot of training. It was basically Ken and Yukina basically being trained by the army because they weren't fit enough or something along those lines. And the whole episode is them going through drills and exercises, and that guy that's trying to impress Yukina tries to, do the same, and he ends up breaking his ankle or hurting his ankle, and the father apologizes towards the end of the episode about that. But in the end of the episode, the big turnout is Yukina's mom basically says, we could trust Konosuke, let's take off that neck brace that he's wearing. We won't shock him anymore, so we're taking away the Inuyasha reference. And, that's basically what they did. They took away the Inuyasha reference, and Ken is allowed to walk around with his sword. The next episode is all about them getting attacked by one of the aliens again in her robot, and she ends up escaping. And then there's a festival at the school. Hooray! They have festival time. Ken gets more human. And then there's a cosplay, contest. And then out of nowhere, Ken gets attacked. And we find out the person that's attacking him... Is everybody ready for this one? Because I didn't see this, and I think Jeremy didn't see this either. Turns out the princess is part of the alien race because she attacks Ken and stabs him through. Because Ken is in shock. To be continued. And now we're at this week's episode, episode 14, where Ken is on the floor bleeding to death. The woman runs away. Ken gets healed. People are questioning if Ken is human or not because his body's starting to heal. We all, as viewers, know that he's not human and he's probably a brainwashed alien at this point. But basically, unhealed and all, jumps into the Black Relic and tries to save the princess because he believes the princess is the one being brainwashed by the aliens. And the other woman comes back, and it becomes a 3-on-2, and we find out that the aliens aren't really coordinated. They're not in sync with each other, so it's easy to gang up on one, take her down, and then gang up on the other and take her down. There was really great... This episode was my favorite because there was a lot of really great action in it. But in the end, they both escape, and Ken, feels obligated to the princess. He believes that the princess was brainwashed, and he's not very happy about the princess, going back into space, going back to the aliens. And unfortunately, he pushed his body a bit too far, and he kind of knocks out. And that's 3 episodes.
That sounds pretty action-packed for only 3.
It was very action-packed, actually. Not episode 12 as much. It was a lot more training, but episode 13 and 14 were very action-packed, yes.
Yeah, it doesn't sound half bad. I wasn't really interested when I saw it, so...
Honestly, I think it's a lot better than Endride. If you
Oh,
have,
well, in that case.
I would definitely say give it a. There's no recap yet, but since Kuromukuro is going into, the summer as well, I would expect by now a recap. Maybe there was certain things recapped, but you could definitely get into it. It's only 14 episodes.
Maybe, we'll see.
This was my favorite this week. ReZero episode 14. Holy crap. I went through the wave of emotions with this episode. You don't agree?
It was a lot to handle.
Explain what you mean by that.
So many sad things happen, and there was another timeline thing, and he was right back at the stupid Apple stand.
Not once, but twice.
Yeah. And he was so distressed and so damaged from everything. It was awful.
I love how, alright, last episode, he went back to the castle and Rem was dead. So, that killed him. Then he gets into the castle and he found Ram and he found the little girl also that he knew. Basically, everybody was murdered. And
Everyone.
yeah. And then he finally finds Amelia, or her Rose, and he follows her blood trail into this hallway, which I'm still curious if she was alive on the other side of that door, but it turns out that there was a spell put on that place. And he reaches for the door, and his fingers actually freeze off immediately. And I was like, at that moment, I said, okay, he's going to die because he's not going to be missing any body parts and live. And what happens is his body freezes and then basically explodes. And he ends up back at the Appa stand. And yes, it's an Appa. Embrace the Appa.
No.
Appa me, Appa you, Appa everybody. Appa.
No.
Okay, so yeah, like you said, Subaru was so broken at that point when he saw Rem again. He just died. His whole brain was like dead. It's like, oh my god, she's alive, but he literally just, I guess this time around, the whole dead reborn thing, he just lost his mind. Just, I don't know. I guess he just snapped.
He lost it.
Yeah, he lost it. And for most of the rest of the episode, he was just dead. He was just sitting there, looking out into space. And what Rem figured was taking him back to Amelia would snap him out of whatever he was in. However, this was like a day before the attack. So they end up getting attacked on the way back to the castle. So this is before the town was attacked. And Subaru gets captured, Rem gets beaten up really badly, and we find out who the people were that attacked Amelia and basically the whole town. And Rem somehow finds a way, or finds Subaru, and she ends up being killed by this guy. Tell me this guy wasn't the creepiest guy in the world.
This just really hurt, honestly.
No, but the guy himself was weird.
Oh, no, definitely.
The leader of the corps, like, yeah. He was saying the same word over and over and over.
That episode was scary, honestly.
He was freaky.
It was even more intense than the last one was, and it was just really scary and creepy. And like when he licked his eyeball. That's what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, no, that was sick. I'm sorry, but this was really twisted, this episode. So then finally this guy, I forgot his name, it starts with a B, he ends up killing Rem in front of Subaru, and Subaru finally snaps and he's like, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you. And Rem, who basically was crawling on her broken arms over to Subaru, ends up freeing him because he's captured, he's like, a prisoner. And he ends up carrying Rem back to the castle. And basically everything we saw from the beginning of the episode happened again, except this time, for some weird reason, Rem was outside. I don't know if you noticed that, Bravo, but Rem was outside this time instead of inside.
I didn't know.
Yeah, she was outside this time, where we saw Rem dead at the beginning. Now it was Rim instead.
Yeah.
And
Alright.
that's when the credits started. And this monster out of nowhere shows up, and Subaru loses his head.
Literally.
Literally comes clean off like a dot. Like basically, think about the oh my god, the crash dummies. The head just pops off.
And fell into the snow.
Yep. And then after the credits roll, he's back at the Oppa stand again. And this time he takes around. And this time around though, remember Rem said to him before she died, "I love you." So now Subaru knows this, and now that he's back in time again, the dead repeat thing, he comforts Rem a little bit so he's not completely broken this time when he comes back from the future. And that the look in his eyes right before the show goes off the air, I felt him and I was like, yes. Yes. Because he knows who it is now who attacks Amelia. He knows when they're going to attack. And he knows that they can't take the same route because they'll be attacked.
This is gonna be really intense next episode for sure.
This is why what he has, the curse he has, is a blessing and a curse. It's a curse because if he dies, he goes back in time to relive it. But in being brought back, he learns. That's what I loved about the first 2 days. It took him several times to die before he got it, but he got it. And this time around, it took him 2 deaths, and now he's got it.
2 incredibly morbid deaths.
3. I'm sorry, 3, 2. 2. He froze, and then he lost his head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That episode was so macabre.
I loved it, though.
Yeah, me too.
I love Rem. I don't want him with Amelia anymore. Screw Amelia. I want him and Rem together. Rem is just so perfect for him now. She loves him.
So she had one outburst, Amelia. Give her a chance still.
No, Rem is so cool. Alright, fine. Let him have Amelia. I'll take Rem. What? I like her.
What about her sister?
You could have her sister. I want her.
What?
I don't mind that she's a demon.
I want a male character, if anything.
Well, she'll have a sex change.
Awkward.
You could have the Lord of the house.
But he's gay.
Maybe he'll go straight.
You don't know anything about humans.
I know nothing at all. I know that I'm an alien. Nice to meet you, by the way.
My God.
Still looking for my spaceship.
We're talking about the most macabre episode, and we're laughing the most at this part. Explain that.
I have no clue. Well, you know what? He's died so much at this point. You know, it's like
keeps getting more and more intense.
The only thing that hurt and what made me really cry was the whole Rem thing. The Rem stuff really killed me. And then the second time around where she literally put her body at risk. Yeah.
You know, maybe Rem is better for Subaru.
Uh-huh.
Rem never... Now that I think about it, Amelia never really did that for him much.
No, he did it for her. She never did it for him.
Ungrateful little...
Thank you. See, now you understand my mindset.
Yes, I do. Rem Subaru for the win.
There you go. Now let's go into Food Wars Season 2, Episode 1 and 2. I like this. Alright, sorry about that. Had a little bit of a recording malfunction. Thank God it happened at the very beginning, or else I'd go flip at this point, at this time in the morning. Food Wars Season 2, Episode 1 and 2 again. Now, I did ask this as the recording went off, so I'm going to do it again. Could you give us a brief synopsis, Bravo, because I know you've watched Season 1. Would you be willing to give a bit of a synopsis on what happened in Season 1?
I can. Season 1 was laying the groundwork for I guess season 2. And even though it was laying the groundwork, it was like establishing itself for what it was still very interesting and really fun to watch. You get introduced to Soma and like what he does and how he gets to this school that's like crazy elite with all these pretentious food snobs, and his classmates, and each of his classmates has a very unique personality, and it shows them their way of cooking, and we get to see them go to like a training school from hell where they cook, and it's really difficult and it's very hardcore. And then like they come back and we get to see some other new characters, and then it goes right into the food contest, and that's where season 1 ends. So.
And there's a bunch of fan service out the wazoo.
Yep, plenty.
Oh yes, yes. The one thing I wish for season 2 that they didn't give us was a bunch of old man judge fan service. I don't want that. I'm very good not having that. Please.
The audience for that is very limited, I'm sure.
I'm very positive that nobody wants to see that. I'm even sure the old people don't want to see that. And
I just imagine a bunch of old women watching the show and being like, "Oh my!"
I imagine a bunch of old. If there's a bunch of old women watching this anime, I have to question the fact of: are you watching with your grandchildren, children, or are you just if you're watching just to watch them, man? You're the coolest old person.
I know, right?
Your grandkids or kids are gonna love you. Well, I have to admit there was a real interesting story, and it's with our grandmother. Back when Dragon Ball Z was in its very last story arc during the Buu saga, our grandmother, we used to bring the VHSs home. We used to go out every other month to buy the VHSs. And we would bring them home, and Grandma would actually watch them with us. So honestly, we had a grandmother who was into anime. Unfortunately, now with the Alzheimer's, she doesn't really remember it or anime at all. So it was fun for the moment, at least. But it was really, she was in that moment, she was like the coolest grandmother with anime fans, the coolest grandmother because she watched anime and enjoyed it.
Aw, that's really sweet.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. It was too short, but it was fun.
Yeah.
But anyway, going back to Food Wars, I'll do episode 1, you do episode 2. It basically, each episode was its own competition. First episode was Soma versus Alice, and their dish was to make oh my god, I forgot.
A bento box.
Bento box. And you know what's funny is Michael and I we got Batoyo bento for a month from Japan, so it was cool when they said a bento box. I'm like, oh, that sounds really cool. And Alice made this delicious sushi box that made me, I can't talk about or watch this show without getting hungry.
Yep.
This is hurting.
It's ruining everyone's diet before they even get started.
It's killing my seafood diet because I have to seafood and eat it after watching this. But Soma ends up winning because his bento box was an actual bento box. It had a little bit of everything. And I have to agree with Alice's grandfather, who's the head of the judges. That would have worked better for an actual sushi competition.
Yeah, she would have won hands down if that were sushi.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, Soma didn't make sushi, so we wouldn't know.
Soma isn't perfect.
Oh, he's lost a few competitions in the manga. I'm positive.
Yeah, probably. I mean, if he's invincible, it gets boring after a while.
Exactly. So I liked the first episode a lot. It was a great intro. Obviously, I had to go back and I've read the first 2 mangas, but I had to go a bit further to get to where we're at now. So I still have to finish season 1 off, but I don't feel like I missed too much. Season 1 felt like more of a get your feet in the water kind of deal.
Even though it was 24 episodes of getting your feet in the water, but
Well, look, you get your feet in the water, you go swimming around a little bit, you learn your surroundings, don't get eaten by the great white shark,
Or the fan service scenes.
Oh no, I can live with the fan service scenes. I can keep those going.
Don't get eaten by those.
Don't get eaten by those. That would be very bad. I want to know where some of these people... I have to say one thing with animes and mangas. The writers have some real unique way of showing things. And in this case, this has got to be, out of all the fan services that I've, seen thus far, this is the deepest fan serviest series I've watched so far.
Most uniquely presented, too.
Very true. Through food, of all things.
It's out it's completely out of left field, and yet at the same time it's not, if that makes any sense.
No, you're right. Exactly. I love it. And episode 1 was really good. Now, episode 2 was a different competition, and I can't talk about it because I really love what the competition was for, and I'm in the mood for it, and I don't have it in the house, so you go with episode 2.
Yep. Okay. This one was another competition, because, each episode seems to be going for a competition thing. And this one was Ryo and Megumi. And this one also had some backstory dropping as well as the competition.
Yep.
We got to see Alice meeting Ryo for the first time, and how when he puts that red bandana on, he just becomes incredibly terrified. Because normally he's pretty listless and kind of just like, yes ma'am, to Alice. So, I wonder if that is like a real multiple personality thing going on, or like if he's psyching himself out with that thing.
I think when he puts it on is when he really puts on his personality, his real, his passion kind of deal.
I don't know if it's his real personality. Part of me wonders if like he kind of is kind of like self-conscious to a degree, and like when he puts that thing on, he's just automatically more confident. It's like maybe it's like a good luck charm kind of. You know what I'm saying?
Could be. I mean, think about what Soma does.
Yeah, I mean he has his own little thing.
Right.
The headband. So I wonder, because like I feel like that whole listless thing is kind of his personality. He's like the one who kind of just doesn't really care much.
Right.
Not necessarily can't cook, but you know what I'm saying. And they both cook their ramen dishes.
Oh, ramen!
So bad for you.
It is not.
When you buy it in the little can, I imagine it is.
No, I buy it in the bag. It looks like a little square. You throw it in the water.
That sounds fun.
You've never had ramen in the bag?
I've never had ramen ever.
She watches anime. You get your butt to the store and you buy one little packet and you eat your ramen, Missy.
No. I had sushi though.
Okay, you're okay.
I love sushi.
Oh, who doesn't like sushi? Fish haters.
Vegetarians.
But it's fish.
It's still meat.
It's fish.
It's meat though. It's
not meat. It's fish.
Go on the forum and go on vegetarian forum.
It is meat. It would be classified with cows and pigs.
It is meat. It counts as meat. Vegetarians will not eat fish.
Well, vegetarians are weird.
I'm not going to comment on that because I don't want to.
I'm making a joke. Vegetarians aren't weird. I have a friend who's a vegetarian.
I don't want to get a ration of things in the comments. How dare you?
I have a friend who ate tofu sushi.
Yeah. How dare you generalize all vegetarians?
Eat
not
meat.
all of us.
Eat meat.
I love those comments. How dare you generalize the entire whatever thing you were talking about in the video. Not all of us are like that. Without any context.
Somebody who eats only who's a vegetarian is going to be like, I eat fish. Excuse me. It's not meat.
I doubt that'll ever happen, but we'll see.
I know it'll never happen. It's funny, and again, I'm just joking around, so nobody take offense.
Yeah.
I'm making a ha-ha at 6:50 in the morning while the sun is coming up, and I'm slowly going delirious.
Yeah. And if you're wondering who won, because like both the dishes look really awesome, the judges seem to be pretty impressed with both. We don't know because it's ended a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great. Lovely. But I feel like
he's gonna win. I feel like him and Soma are gonna fight.
Maybe. I don't know. I kind of want Megumi to win.
I want her to win, but I feel like she won't because they're gonna want to have. I mean, they're not gonna put her up against with Soma,
I would actually enjoy that.
Yeah, that would be true. That is true.
Nice, interesting conflict. Although I can see why I have a feeling Ryo will win, but like for the sake of going against the grind, I want to say that she will.
I'm gonna be different.
Yeah, I like to make the surprising choices. It's fun.
Because different.
Not really. I mean, like normally I just naturally have a different opinion, but this time I really just want to go against the grind because why not? I can. I have a blog and people will listen. So.
That's right. As long as I have my blog, nobody won't listen to me. They'll just have to read me instead of listening.
Sit down, shut up, and read my posts. Read my opinion.
And agree with me.
They actually don't have to agree if they don't want. I don't care.
Oh, it's okay. Disagree with her then.
I didn't say disagree on purpose. Just read at your own discretion and make your own conclusions.
Or else. We'll come to your house with a newspaper.
Read.
You know, I will say one thing, and it's very true. When I was a kid, I was my reading skills were very low because I didn't read books and stuff. Between comic books and mangas, especially if I was introduced to mangas when I was younger, I would have skyrocketed with. I did skyrocket because of comic books, but with mangas, I think I would have become an English major.
If only I could learn how to read Japanese.
Listen, we can't perform miracles either here. I've seen Japanese. There is no way in hell I'll ever be able to read that.
I'm taking on that challenge.
Have fun with that on your own.
Cut to a few years later, I learned Japanese.
And then I'm like, good, translate this sushi menu for me.
I'm gonna biff you on the back of the head with said menu if you ever do that. I'm gonna biff you on the back of the head with the menu.
Ow! I feel it. I really feel it on the inside.
Ask you to translate things of value.
I'll ask you to translate the really expensive sushi.
I knew you were gonna do that.
At a gourmet sushi restaurant.
Is there even a thing of like...
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, go into Manhattan and you'll find out.
There's such a thing as gourmet sushi. I can't believe it.
I don't know. Is there? Did you look it up?
I just did now. Yes, there's a gourmet sushi.
See?
There's also gourmet pizza.
Yes, that I know.
That's pretty stupid. Okay, I think we should probably move on now.
Okay, let's move on to the last anime because we are really losing it, and I mean losing it in mind and letting time slide. Tales of Zestiria The X, episode number 0, which was more of a prequel. We got introduced to a female character. I forgot her name though, and
I did too. Don't even ask.
Honestly, it's so different from episode 1. I guess that's why this is considered episode 0. All of her friends and her comrades basically end up dying off. She gets attacked by these beings that look like they're demons. And basically she gets screwed up bad.
Very, very bad.
And that's the end. And then we get the intro to the series as the outro. So we get introduced to the characters that will be in the series. And apparently she's the only survivor of all of this. And episode 1, I don't want to go too far into episode 1, but let's just say we get her background because she's the one that moves into this different realm where these people are.
Yep.
And I guess that's
an interesting character. I like her.
Oh yeah, she's like a knight or a princess. Actually, she's a princess, right?
Yep, she's a princess, but not a princess that you would want to screw around with, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, she's got the power.
Yep.
Literally. She'll stab you dead.
Mm-hmm.
And she just lost all of her friends, so she'll probably stab you easier dead. So
she's distressed.
I thought for an episode 0, pretending like I didn't watch episode 1 yet, I thought it was a really good, setup. I'm interested to see where the new characters fit in, where she's going to fit in, what's going to go on, and what the series actually is about, because I feel like I don't know anything about the series yet. I feel like they're going to go looking for the shepherd.
Yep.
Who is the guy that will save the world from something.
That
bad
mist
things.
or whatever.
Yeah, the mist stuff and the evil. To be continued. That's really all I got from this first episode.
Me too. I don't really have much to add in that regard either.
It's like, okay, I guess we'll find out more next time. And to be honest, for episode 1, still not that much info. Things are not looking good for Tales of Zestiria The X.
Nope.
But we're going to hold on to it for a bit and see if things get better. If they don't, we'll see what Jeremy thinks, and then maybe this is another series that we'll let go off into the sunset. I don't know. Anyway,
Yep.
What?
Yep, that's really... There's not much to say about this, honestly.
That's why I left it for last, because there's really not much to say. Next week we'll have a better listing, like I said, of the animes. Next week, there's one more show that's starting up, which is 100 Mob, oh god, what was it called?
Mob Psycho 100.
Mob Psycho 100, thank you. Episode 1 will be coming, and I think that's all the new stuff we have scheduled for summer. So what you guys are seeing now, minus the 3 shows that just finale'd, and plus Twin Star Exorcist and Psycho Mob 100. Yeah, that's going to be our list for the summer, I think. We'll see what else sticks around and what else doesn't. And what else ends. I don't know when things end, honestly. Anyway, thank you guys so much for being here. Comic Frontline, we are your number one. Oh, first of all, feel free to comment below your thoughts on any of the episodes we talked about here, about our weird, random, losing our minds because it's almost 7 o'clock in the morning thing.
Yep.
And anything you'd like to recommend, we always welcome recommendations, but
I read all the comments, so.
I mean, we'll definitely take into consideration, anything that you'd recommend that's newer. Again, though, our list is pretty big as is already, so we might take it into consideration. It really just depends on time if we're able to really, truly try out the recommendation. So hopefully we'll be able to. I don't think there's really much else people have recommended to us compared to what we've done.
To be honest, all your recommendations probably come from me, mostly. Because I'm watching way more shows.
Yep. So now, with that, Comic Frontline, we are your number one source for comic-related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. Next week, Jeremy should be back. It'll be video, and audio, since Bravo does not do camera. And we will have a bunch of stuff to talk about, and Jeremy's going to have to play catch-up. He'll probably play catch-up on the pre-show so we can continue forward on the regular show. Also, if you do not have Comic Frontline in your YouTube subscription box, you should consider doing that because we have new videos popping up each and every day, and you do not want to miss out on a single video. Bravo has her own channel, Bravo Cube, youtube.com/Bravo Cube.
Yep.
And go check her out as well. I think you've got a lot of stuff going on your channel right now, and you're also writing for Comic Frontline, which reminds me, ComicFrontline.com, we have articles going up almost each and every single day as well. Previews, reviews, first looks, news articles, breaking news. It's all there on the .com. Anything you'd like to add before we go, Bravo?
Not really. I think we're good.
Okay, then. So take care, everybody. Keep reading, keep collecting. As Jeremy would say, keep watching that anime, and we'll see you guys next week. Yes, next week. We will not skip another week. And we'll see you next week for another Anime Weekly.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.